What's this live about now? Well, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about listening to many people for many days, practically taking sides on war. Because, people seem to think that war is, how can I put it? That war is sitting in your house, watching it on the TV. That's what people seem to think war is in this little community of ours. And I'd just like to put them right, that any war that comes our way now, it's not going to be like that, it's just not. As I've said many times, you little warmongers out there, you're going to have to get used to being bombed, drones coming across doing God knows what else. You're going to have to get used to the cyber world going down. You're going to have to get used to so much. Will you then still take a side and want a war? Will you? Yeah? Many times I've thought, no, people can't be that ignorant. How can people be so ignorant as to not understand war? Unfortunately, they are. They really are. And I've worked it out. It's because they don't know it's because they've never felt the realistic effects of war, because they've only seen it on their TV. Yeah? They've never had to really think about it. They've never had to suffer in any way. No, they watch it on their computer or their TV, and then they sit there as armchair generals, and they spout a load of fucking nonsense. Also, a lot of people like to say, well, if you've joined up in the army, well, you got to go and do. No, they don't. No, they don't. No. And the reason I'm doing this and saying this is because I think this time, even though Starmer seems to be backtracking, if he tries to send troops to the Ukraine, this whole country should protest and say, no, not in our name. No, you're not having our sons. Yeah? Who's what? Irish? What? Who's wanting warm? Irish. Many, many people Irish. Yeah, many people. Because what's happened is they've took a side. They're either on the side of the Ukraine or they're on the side of the willing. And you know who the willing are, I mean, when I listened to Starmer's speech, was it yesterday in the House of Commons, I felt physically sick. Because we listened to another speech, didn't we, once? Yeah, we all sat there and listened to Tony Blair and his speech about Iraq, didn't we? Only this time, we're well informed. And hey, we all know that the Ukraine has minerals. America wants these minerals. And it looks like, Starmer wants the minerals too. I don't. And I don't think anyone in this country should, to be quite honest. And then we had that crazy American, is he Vance? Vance he's called or something? JD Vance or something, I don't know. Saying that, Europe hasn't been to war for 40 years. Well, isn't that a good thing? Isn't it, yeah, the last time the UK was at war, a proper war, a proper war was, the Falklands. But, we have been involved in Iraq, Afghanistan, and then, of course, there was the troubles in Northern Ireland. So, yeah, that's it. J.D. Vance, Irish. And then there was the troubles in Northern Ireland, which J.D. Vance seems to think, oh, well, that never happened. That didn't happen. We leave that out. Well, maybe that's because half of fucking America was sending money over to kill our soldiers and kill innocent people on both sides in Northern Ireland. Really the arrogance of some Americans really, really does grate at me. Yeah. Because as much as they're our closest ally and all the rest of it, you have to remember that in the First World War, they didn't arrive till 1917. And in the Second World War, well, they didn't get involved until 1941. We spent 3 years on our own. We fought for the Battle of Britain on our own. No help from America on that day. Well, during those weeks, sorry. So, yeah, for those of you idiots who've took sides and decided that you're on the side of the Ukraine or Russia, you're stupid. You shouldn't be on any side. You should just want peace. Yeah? Irish is up. Victoria is up. Victoria West Nemesis. El Cid is up. Yeah, there's some very strange characters going around lately. I mean, you've got that guy on Vellies, who likes to sit and just say checkmate. I'm not being funny, it does my head in. It does my fucking head in. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. How can you have a conversation with someone who every time he thinks he's got a gotcha moment says checkmate? I don't know. And then there's the world history man called Khan, who thinks he knows everything about everything, but literally knows nothing about nothing. Gets everything wrong, backwards and upside down. But at the moment, the one that's grating on me the most has to be Checkmate Man. Yeah, Irish, you think he's good, do you? Yeah, because he's mad. Yeah. Obviously, there's a problem there. But does that checkmate, checkmate, checkmate not get on your nerves? You know what I mean? It does my head in. And then today, O'Velly goes live, and we have to listen to his views on why there's a housing shortage. Well, could that be that because there's 20 million people extra in this country. Yeah. Oh, God, I long for the 1990s. I really do. Because there wasn't 20 million extra people in the country in the 90s. Before Tony Blair, I will add. No. So if Ellie wants to sit and worry about the housing shortage, he needs to go look at the amount of people that are crammed into this country. And I also, who was it? Somebody, was it Lig or someone? They were talking about Ireland, right? And they were saying things like, oh, Ireland's not overrun with immigrants. Ireland's not over. Fucking hell. You need to go watch some of the videos I watch then, and you'll find, well, it's the very opposite of that, because it is. And it's not very pretty, unfortunately, for the Irish. Yeah, they're having a hard time over there. I don't know how they're going to figure it out, because there's, the country of Ireland is stuck. It's stuck. It's been run by the EU, and now it seems to be a free-for-all for every immigrant around the world, heading for this little place called Ireland. It's quite unbelievable. Yes, Victoria. They do your nutting, don't they? They literally start to make you think you're losing brain cells. It literally does, because they're so thick and stupid, and they just think they can never think outside of the box. And another thing people can't do, they can't put themselves in another person's position, if you like, in shoes. They can't stand in another person's shoes and see it from their point of view. Oh no, it's got to be their point of view on nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm still not going to shut up about the fact that my daughter had to spend 16 hours in A&E the other week, right? Because that's a disgrace. It really is. It's terrible. And that people are waiting for 4 and 5 hours for ambulances to turn up at their homes. What's that about? Starmer needs to realise he needs to sort this country out, and then he can worry about the rest of the world. But I don't think he cares, to be quite honest. He'd be quite happy to see this country gone, and for us to be called, I don't know, Great Normandy or France. Yeah, he wouldn't mind that. I don't think he has any love or affection in any way for this country. It's Prime Minister's questions tomorrow, isn't it? I wonder if they're all going to stand up and they're all going to fawn over the Prime Minister and his stupid plan of the coalition of the willing. I mean, my God, it's like 1937 all over again. The coalition of the willing. I mean, it's just too pathetic to even think about. What actually are they going to do? Our armed services, are less than 80,000. No. We found a guy the other day, this is Louise, falling down steps, 63, massive head injury, 45 minutes for an ambulance. See, that's disgusting. That really is a disgusting length of time to wait. Why the hell is it taking that long? And this all happened, of course, we all know this is all because it was all put in place and planned during COVID, wasn't it? Because when we came out of that time, that's when we all started to notice the changes, how bad A&E was, how you couldn't get to see a doctor, and of course the ambulances, the amount of time of 45 minutes for a man of 63 that's falling down steps. That's a disgrace. And he was unconscious. My God. Bloody hell. It's a good job you guys found him, and at least you were there, even though he was unconscious. You know, I often think about Oliver Cromwell, you know. I'm just saying. I remember I don't remember. I wasn't there. When I remember reading in the history books. not I remember, I wasn't there. Reading in the history books when Cromwell marched into the House of Commons and shut the whole lot down. God. It's like, what needs to happen is, it's like when somebody joins the army, right? When a man joins the army, they're normally young men, and most of them will have been jobless for quite a while, or come from broken homes. This is the God honest truth, right? And what the army does is they take that broken young man and they build him back up, but they build him back up as a strong, fit soldier, right? So just think if we could take charge of the House of Commons and build it up in a better way. You know? Because they all sit there and they're all taught spouting rubbish. I mean, yesterday with his coalition of the fucking willing was driving me insane. And then if that other woman who is, I don't know, leader of the Conservatives didn't get up and agree with him. I mean, what is wrong with these people? Oh, yeah. It won't be their sons, will it? No. Well, actually, Louise, where I live, apparently, we're short on doctors in this area because, well, apparently it's too expensive for doctors to come and live here. I mean, I've heard of some excuses, but that just about does it for me. Yeah, it's too expensive for doctors to come and live here. That's why we're short on doctors where I live. Victoria is saying, I like to think it will go back to the NHS providing their own departments again and the cost cutting endangering lives. Oh, yes, Victoria, that would be good, wouldn't it? That would be really good. You know what else? I mean, Jupiter was on about this the other day. I think it was Jupiter. I'd also like to go back to the days where you could recognise who was who in the hospital. You know, you'd immediately know who the consultant was and who the doctor was, who the nurse it was, who the sister was and who the bloody matron was, you would immediately know. Now you can't tell. You just can't tell. You don't know who's who. You could be talking to someone thinking they're a bloody nurse and they end up being a cleaner. A lot of money is wasted. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Too much, too much red tape. A lot of managers running around the place, not actually doing anything. Yeah. But for those, this country isn't a mess. It's in a mess. And what I love is the way they sit there and they agree with each other, right? On the panels, oh yeah, yes, yes. When the reality of it is, right, when everything goes wrong, it's a dog-eat-dog world, isn't it? You're out for yourself and your family, and that's the way it's got to be. It's been a funny old 4 weeks. Yeah, you see them out smoking, Louise, yeah? On a break or coming into work, they used to have to address and work in cleanliness. I know, Louise, you could, when you think back to the way they used to look. I'm telling you, when my daughter was in A&E, it was like being at the fucking United Nations. And then after about an hour, I began to think that I was actually sat in Calcutta. I'm not, and I'm just saying, stating facts here. You know. I mean, I didn't sit in there 16 hours, and I tried to get her to come out, and I tried to get her to come out and go to bed, at home, and then go and see a doctor the next day. But she said that she couldn't get in to see the bloody doctor, and she'd broken her leg. Oh, so she'd done something to her leg. I don't think it was actually broken when they actually got round to see her. I think it was severely bruised or whatever. But I wasn't sitting there 16 hours. 2 hours, that was me done. I'd had enough. So Victoria's saying, I started working for the NHS in the early 80s. Bloody hell, Victoria. You will have seen some changes. You will have seen so many changes. I've seen it change over the years. Decent staff getting burnt out and leave. Experience is priceless, but it's crisis management on steroids. Yeah, steroids. Very true. Hello, Adam. Very true, Victoria. But if you started work in the early 80s, you see how I'm thinking now. Yeah. You have seen you've seen so many changes then. Like on the shop floor is a better way to put it. On the shop floor, because wow, you'll have seen. I know I'm up late. I can't be bothered to go to bed. I have to go to bed, but I can't be bothered to go to bed. I'm thinking of nurses that wear those hats now. They used to wear those hats. And their uniforms, and everything used to tell you who was who. And when I think back, they all seem so clean, and you know, so yeah. And you always felt safe around them. You like they knew what they were doing. These days, no, 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 no. Um, when I was sat in Calcutta the other day, you know, I was looking around and I was just shaking my head. I thought, is this what it's come to? Is this really what it's come to? There was one family come in, right? And I think it was one of them that was not very well. And this one family was accompanied by 5 other people, right? And A&E started to fill up, and people were literally standing. It was standing room only. And yet that one person with the 5 people attending were taking up all those chairs, where people were having to stand up. What, Wendy, have you heard about the 18-meter tall statue of a headless demon they erected in Greenwich? It's very odd. I believe it's more than just a piece of art. Well, if that's what they've put up, that's right, Louise, crisp and clean. If that's what they've put up, right, 12x, I wouldn't even bother going looking at it, I mean, what on earth? Why has the council, where is it? Greenwich, right. Why have the council wasted money on such stuff? Do these councils think that we go around saying we want to see countless aimless statues of people we didn't know and don't really care about? Or of I remember when Milton Keynes literally had what was it they used to have in the fields there? Concrete cows. Literally concrete, not real cows, concrete cows in Milton Keynes. Fucking mad. Honestly, it's madness. I think that's why I can't be bothered to go to bed. What? Damon was a bull. What do you mean he was a bull? Why a demon? Is it Damon or a demon? Oh, it's a demon. It's beyond me. I don't understand these pointless statues going up. Like I say, it's either this so-called art, like, I don't know, a piece of wood, with one branch on it, and let's make that into concrete somehow. Yeah, that's art. Or it's of some person none of us have heard of and none of us care about, yet they spend money on it and stick it up in the middle of somewhere and call it a statue when it's not. I just wondered, what's another one of my pet peeves lately? What is it that's been driving me round the bend lately? So it's the NHS, definitely. God, so many things that drive me round the bend. Um, Oh yeah, people that keep going on about what's that different coinage? What is that different coinage called? Oh God. I can't think of the name of it. What is that other what's that other currency called? The one they all been buying into? Crypto, that's it. Yeah, that's driving me nuts lately. People going on about that like they've made million. It makes me laugh every time I hear somebody who's bought crypto at some point, right? Not one of them have lost money. They've all made £50,000. And it just drives me round the bend. It really does. It's like when you sat on a panel, right? And someone will say, "Oh yeah, I've got I've got a brother that works in the NHS, and yeah, he's a top surgeon. Uh, yeah, he's a brain surgeon. You know, it's like that everyone has to be um in the top echelons of things. It's like, well, hang on a minute, because if it's not for the people, the nurses and everybody at the bottom, things wouldn't run properly anyway. If lockdown taught us anything, right? If it taught us anything, it's that the ordinary working person at the bottom is the person that's needed, right? But they do make me laugh on these panels when they say things like, oh, someone will say, oh, yeah, I've got a sister that works for a hotel. Yeah, she's a big string of hotels, and she's a manager for about 7 hotels. Yes, yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, don't they know the path to happiness yet? Don't they, the people know that the path to happiness, right, is simple. It's simplicity itself, the path to happiness. And that is to be happy with yourself, to love yourself, right? And to be content. If you're not happy, if you haven't got those 3 things, you're done for before you open the front door. It's as simple as that. Because once you have all those 3 things, right, nobody can touch you. Nobody can upset you during the day. Nobody, well, they can get you shouting maybe, but they can't upset you. They can't get at you because you don't let them in. Because you're happy, content, you love yourself, right? So nobody's going to get at you. And contentment, peace of mind is very, very important. Yes, 12x, I agree, and that is a problem. We are living in a society where the most important thing in the world is materialistic gain. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've had my sons come around here and say, Mother, I've got a new car out there, come and see it. And I've gone, no, I'll see it when I get in it to go somewhere. Other than that, I don't care. It's a piece of metal. It gets me from A to B, and it'll get you to work, or words to that effect. I don't care. Doesn't interest me. Not interested. An attachment, right? Getting attached to stuff is another like pet peeve of mine. Like, I don't know, like a vase or something, right? So you got a vase, you got some flowers in it. The grandchildren come round, they knock they knock the vase over, right, and the vase breaks. There's some people go absolutely nuts about things like that. I don't. I just say, "Oh, ugh, pick it up to the mother or the father. Pick it up, put it in the bin, don't matter, I can replace that." But some people go absolutely crazy about all these materialistic gains that they must have, and they got to be keep it. Well, the old saying was keeping up with the Joneses. I think it's way past that now. I mean, why is it that when I was growing up, my mother had one dustbin, and it was tiny. It was one of those round dustbins, with the lid on it, the old-fashioned ones, tiny, right? And with a family of 8, so 8 of us, tiny bin. Yet that bin would not be full at the end of the week, right? Now, right? My son, who lives down the road, there's him, his wife, his 2 very, very small children, and every other week they've got 3 giant wheelie bins full of rubbish. I don't understand it, I don't get it. What is it that we're doing, whereas a family of 8 had one little bin, right, that wasn't even full at the end of the week, to now where a family of 4 have got 3 or 4 different wheelie bins, and they all get filled up in 2 weeks. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's a bit of a mystery to me, to be quite honest. I used to blame the packaging, but no, because there can't be that much packaging. It just can't be. No, it can't be the packaging. It's just got to be waste. We're wasteful people. Yeah, I think we're just wasteful now, I catch myself sometimes. Yeah, the other day, I don't know if any of you were listening, but the other day, come to think of it, I was busy listening to Jupiter, and I burnt my vegetables. I mean, yeah, okay, stop laughing. But I burnt the vegetables because I'd forgot about them, because I was listening to what was going on Jupiter's stream. So, it was only after I did it that I thought, wow, what a waste. So I get the vegetables, right, in the pan, and I just put the whole lot in the bin and go on Amazon and order a new pan. I mean, what? And it was after I'd spoken to Jupiter and everything else that I thought, well, what the hell did I do that for? It was just so wasteful, very wasteful. Oh, I'm not going to clean that pan. I'm just put it in the bin and buy a new one. Yeah. Oh my God. That's what I'm guilty of that though. I'm terrible for that, like plates and saucers and side plates and all the rest of it. You've got your dinner set. If I get bored of my dinner set that I've got, right, I will bin the whole lot and order new ones just because I'm bored with the look of the old one. It's ridiculous. Oh, God. Absolute craziness. That's what it is. Rightio, I'm off to bed. I can't be bothered to go to bed now. I've actually moved. Thanks for being here, guys. Bye-bye.